Morning everybody. We're out at McKittrick Canyon here at Guadalupe Mountains National Park. This is my mom back behind me, and we came out to camp for a few days, and we're doing a bunch of day hikes out here. We actually got here yesterday morning and just real tired and felt lazy, didn't want to do videos, but we did Devil's Hall yesterday and hiked out to the Pinery, a couple of small things, and basically just tried to not get blown away. Really windy out here the last couple days, and I think it's going to be even more windy today. So we are day hiking McKittrick Canyon. We're going to go up to the Grotto and the Hunter Line Shack, and obviously check out Pratt Cabin on the way. So we got out here about the right at when the gate opened, and they may have opened a few minutes early because there were already probably 6 or 8 cars in the parking lot when we got out here at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. And I don't think too many of them got out in front of us, but this is a really popular trail this time of year. I think the colors are going to be past peak already, but hopefully we'll still find a little bit out here. So we're at the first part of the hike. You're going to be hiking almost out in open desert. And one thing that's really cool about this hike is just to be able to see how the environment changes the farther you go back into the canyon. So the Pratt Cabin is about 2.4 miles from the Trailhead, and the Grotto and the Hunter Line Shack, which are pretty close to each other, about 3.5 miles. This is a out and back day hike, so double all your distances for a complete round trip. So we're basically going to be doing about 7 miles round trip there and back. In our first water crossing, this is the same wash that we walked across earlier, but this water ends up flowing back underground. That's why it's dry farther down the creek bed. A little bit of orange right in there. That's the first real color we've seen besides brown. Tell the trees are getting a little bigger the farther we're hiking in. We're probably about 1.25 miles to 1.5 miles in right now. Pretty bright orange. They're not much for fall color, but had to get a shot of them a drone. They said this is supposed to be kind of a down year for fall color because of the weather earlier in the year. Plus we're past peak already, but some awesome colors as you can see. The wind is definitely picking up. Early on in the hike it really wasn't too bad, but I don't know if it's getting funneled down through here or what, but it's getting pretty windy. Luckily my hat's on fairly tight, so haven't had any trouble with that yet. So this is the last crossing right before you get to the Pratt Cabin. Here we are at the entrance to the cabin, and some awesome colors right here. I just made it up to Pratt Cabin. Just coming around and checking it out, and actually just ran into somebody I know. So Tyler, if you're watching this video, hey, it was good seeing you. This is a look out front of the Pratt Cabin. They had just an awesome view out here. Really great spot. Probably why they called it the prettiest place in Texas. Here's a look back at the cabin itself. You can see that roof made out of stone. I've always thought that's really cool. They don't have it open today, and probably not during all this COVID stuff, but sometimes in more normal times they'll have a volunteer or ranger here, have this opened up, and you can go inside and check it out. I've never actually been inside of it, but it's cool. You can see through the windows. They still got it set up. That little house, cabin looking thing right there in the middle of the shot, that's, I think, their generator house, I believe, where they could get power. And I don't think there's electricity out here today, but Wallace Pratt and his wife, they had a pretty good setup. There's a look kind of off to the side of the cabin, panning around toward the back, and that's the garage back there. Used to could drive their truck back in here, supplies, and stay back for a while. Just an absolutely gorgeous area. There you can see where the electric used to come in. This is kind of a look back behind the house, but in the opposite direction I showed a while ago. They had a heck of a view, and definitely during fall had probably the best spot in the state. Closer up shot of the garage. And then I never been back here, but my mom walked around back and showed me something a little unique about the back side of the garage. Different style of stone back here. Kind of neat. And it's back around behind the garage. This whole area is super cool. Well, the Pratt Cabin area was super awesome. Really nice to just sit up there and imagine what it would have been like to actually have owned that place and been able to sit out there anytime you want. And some really great colors, some of the best of the canyon so far all around this cabin. Alright, so now we're on our way to the Grotto. It's about a mile from the Pratt Cabin. And we're going to check out the Grotto and the Hunter Line Shack up there, which is another really pretty area. And then probably going to have some lunch there at the picnic area at the Grotto. This is about the most dirt you'll see on any trail out here. If you ever hiked out here, you notice every single trail is solid limestone. A little bit of dirt here in McKittrick Canyon. This is the area coming into the Grotto. Well, it's getting windier and windier. So this is the Grotto. It's just a really small cave-like formation. Lots of little stalagmites and stalactites. Coming up to the picnic area. This is just on the other side of the Grotto itself. Really cool stone tables. Great place for a picnic lunch halfway through your hike. This is the little side trail just past the Grotto picnic area. And it's maybe 100 yards or so up to the Hunter Line Shack, which is another little cabin that was out here. It was a hunting cabin. And it's a really pretty area, but Park Service definitely didn't keep it up quite like they do the Pratt Cabin. Finally saw some deer on this trip. See that water tank just up the hill? I've never noticed that before. And this is the Hunter Line Shack or Hunter Line Cabin. Old hunting cabin out here. And just like Wallace Pratt and his cabin, they had a just really beautiful view straight out the front of their cabin. One last look at the Hunter Line Shack. We head back over to the Grotto to eat some lunch. Lunch, we're having assorted crackers and assorted cheeses, some salami and some raspberry jalapeno jelly. And not a bad spot for a picnic. Look back down the canyon the way we came. It's the way we're heading out at 3.5 miles back to the car. So we're counting people that we passed on the way back. Since we started right whenever the gates opened, pretty much, we didn't hardly pass anyone on the way out there. Wasn't anybody ahead of us really. So since we've left the Grotto, we've passed 14 people so far, and we aren't even quite back to the Pratt Cabin, which I expect to see even more than that after we pass the cabin. I told my mom we'd probably see 50 people on the way back to the trailhead. Beautiful day, great day for a hike while everybody's out. And, I mean, it's super windy, but it's probably in the mid-60s right now. Feels great, as long as you can stay out of the big wind gusts. So the first time I did McKittrick Canyon, Olivia and I did it together, and it was probably mid-shin deep, the whole thing. Wasn't any dry spots. They had just had a huge flood out here, and I believe that was 2014, and that's the most water I've ever seen in it. There's a video on YouTube of like a raging river coming through here, and that was the big flood. I believe they said it was somewhere around 8 foot deep coming down through here. I mean, it just, the video looks insane. But now you go across there, it's not any more than a few inches deep really, and really easy to rock hop your way across, stay dry. See the very edge of the visitor center right up there at the bottom of that ridge. You probably can't make it out in the video, but we're lost pretty much all of our shade trees back out into the desert section. We don't have much farther left to go at all. We have made it back to the visitor center about 12:45 Mountain Time, so we're gone a total of 4 hours and 45 minutes. This is classified as a contact station, so it's not a full-on visitor center, but we do have bathrooms, payphone, water, things like that here. There are a few interpretive signs. You can read a little bit about the canyon itself, and then they have a small TV over here where you can watch a 7-minute video to learn a little bit about Wallace Pratt and the canyon itself. See how many more cars are in the parking lot. Really not too terribly many. There's still spots in this lot, and then there's an overflow lot a little further down, so plenty of room here. We ended up seeing I think it was 34 people on our way back. It's a little shy of my 50 that I had estimated. No, really not too bad. Well guys, thanks for following along on our hike of McKittrick Canyon up to the Grotto. It was a really pretty day, really nice hike. And we enjoyed it. Thanks for following along. See you next time.